Okay, we're out here with Tony Jenkins, aka Anthony Stoll.
Yep.
So he's one of our young guys under 25 years old with a car that he's fixed up. I heard a little bit about this car yesterday. Really a fun story. Can you tell us a little bit about your car?
Yeah, I bought this car. It was out of a Wisconsin field, and it didn't look anything like this. It was very beat up. It looked like a tree fell on the roof. It was really rusty. The fenders had massive holes in it. It barely ran. I barely made it home. Had a single exhaust system that was falling off. It was just really dirty. It needed some love. And I was looking for a first car, and I didn't have a lot of money to spend on it. And I was like, I was looking for an El Camino or a G-Body, something from G-Body platform, but I found this, and I saw this looks pretty cool. And I went out there to look at it with just me and my mom and gave the guy a deposit. A few days later, I went, bought the car with my grandfather, and we drove it home back to Chicago. It was about a 2-hour drive. It barely made it home, but we made it home. And over the summer, I've been fixing it up.
Wow, so this is a pretty recent purchase then. Just this year?
Yeah, I bought it in May of this year, May 23rd to be exact. And I've been enjoying it all summer long. It, like I said, didn't look like this. Obviously, we just got it looking like this. We brought it to a friend of ours to help with the body work. He painted the roof, fixed the roof. It had a lot of rust, dents, and the fenders had a lot of rust in them, holes in them. And, we just wanted to get it to be presentable. It's a first project.
So it barely made it home. What kind of mechanical repairs did you need to make to it?
It really just needed a tune-up, honestly. This is a 350 from 1970, so they're pretty much invincible. And what we did is we, did spark plug wires and tuned the carburetor, timed it, spark plugs. We did a little bit of everything, and we got it running pretty good. And now it's going pretty good. We put headers on it. It's got a mild cam in it. That's what the previous owner told me. It's probably just an RV cam or something. But I don't plan on keeping the motor in here. So
okay.
Yeah.
What are your plans for that?
Well, I'm an LS guy. I like LS motors, but I want to do a big block in this. I think this car deserves a big block.
So you're thinking like a big block Ford, like a 460, or
no? We're gonna do a Chevy motor.
Oh,
we're gonna do a 454. Maybe bore it to 468 and make
awesome.
it a nice little sleeper. Put the full wheel hubcap. I put rally wheels on it. Put the full wheel hubcaps on it back.
Okay.
When
Some
it's a
light
little.
walls.
Yeah, make it look slow. Secretly, It's a little
Awesome.
fast.
So go ahead. No.
So, is this your toy car, or is this your daily driver? Do you need to use this car?
Well, for the most part, it's a daily driver. But I live in Chicago, so I have a 99 Pontiac Grand Prix that's just a daily driver for when it snows. But whenever it's not snowing, this is coming out. The heat works. Everything works. I put a radio in it. It's meant to be driven. These cars were meant to be driven. This car deserves to be driven.
So it sounds like it's come a long way. So no doubt you have a really nice facility to work out of.
No, I don't do this in a garage. I do most of this work outside.
Wow, that's amazing.
That's called living in Chicago. We have a garage, and it's full of other stuff like my grandpa's cars. He's got a few cars, and I could use it when I want to, but I'd rather do the stuff outside. I mean, it kind of makes you used to working in poor conditions.
Right.
So I don't mind it. It's fun. It's an experience, and I've enjoyed it.
It seems to have a very respectable interior.
Well, it's all original to my knowledge. It's got a few rips in the seat, but what do you expect? It's from 1970. I'm the third owner of this car. I bought it from the second owner. It's out of Michigan, and the second owner didn't want to tell me much about the car. It was pretty mysterious, but he was a nice guy.
You think maybe he was like a drug runner or something?
That would have been a cool story for the car, but I think from what he told me, he had the car since he was 18. He's like 40 years old now.
Okay.
And he bought it from an older couple in Michigan, brought the car to Wisconsin, didn't do much to it, didn't drive it much, and it was just sitting in his yard. I mean, I wanted to save it, and I'm happy where it is now. I didn't think this car would ever get like this. The engine bay, I primed it, sanded it. Me and my grandpa painted it. I put the gold Moroso stuff on there. I've always liked that old school day 2 style stuff. Put headers on it, made it run a little better, put an aluminum radiator in it because driving to a cruise night, the stock radiator exploded on me. Actually exploded twice. I got it fixed and it exploded a second time.
Wow. That's a good indication you should part with that radiator.
Yes. Yes.
So this is kind of an oddball thing to point out, but I'm noticing this is a non-air conditioning car, very low option car. It does have wheel opening molding and stuff, but it has apparently its original windshield in there.
Really?
So it doesn't even have a shade band.
Yep.
So it's clear glass completely without even a shade band. So
Yes.
that's kind of a rare piece. I don't think you could buy that windshield ever again.
Yep.
It's done. So
Yep. Yeah.
be careful with that.
Is this a lifetime car for you or just a learning experience?
Well, the plan when I first bought it was I was on the fence about selling it because my dream car, I have 2 dream cars, a 64 Dodge Polara or a 1979 Chevy Malibu 2-door. And I really liked this car, but I said, maybe I could flip it.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up not doing that, obviously, so I'm going to keep it. But what you said about the optioning, what I think the story on this car is that these cars had optional warning lights to my knowledge. All of them are optioned. The seatbelts on top, I'm pretty sure that was an option. This car was optioned with that. But it has an AM radio, no AC. Most 70 Impalas were optioned with AC. This car doesn't have that. It's a 4-door Impala non-sports sedan. You don't see those.
Okay, yeah.
Brakes.
No disc brakes, full power drum. It's a oddball car, but it's something you'd see on the street a grandma driving.
Yeah, absolutely. I have found that adjusted properly, power drum brakes are fantastic.
Yeah, they work.
Absolutely.
They work fine.
Here's my experience with drum brakes. I've driven this thing in the rain, doesn't like it. It likes to skid, but it does work. When I drove this car, this was the 3rd car I ever drove. I'm still on my permit. I'm 15 years old. I drove this car with my mother after I bought it. Me and her took it out. I never drove an old car before this. I was in them my whole life. My grandpa has a ton, but I never drove one. When I got in this car, I learned how to drive it. I think anybody could get in an old car and drive it as long as you are cautious at first. The drum brakes, I will admit, they take a while to get used to because you don't have that braking power on demand like you do in a new car. So you kind of have to be careful. You can't ride the brakes, obviously, so you just kind of got to be prepared. And it's something to get used to, but I think anybody could do it.
Have you ever considered a career like in TV broadcasting?
I did background acting for a few years.
Okay.
I wanted to, take the acting career to a new level. I did some acting classes and did this and did that, but then COVID happened and kind of put that on a halt.
Okay.
I might get back into that, but I'd love to do some sort of TV broadcasting. I always watch the Motor Trend channels on TV, Roadkill and Engine Masters and all that, and that's something I'd like to do one day, is be on a show like that.
Okay, well, there's some pretty good guys for that here. John Craman from the Mecum Auctions. Have you met him?
I've met John Craman last year when I was on the Future of the Generation panel, and he's a great guy, great speaker.
Yeah, absolutely. Kevin Ostie is here, V8 TV. He's a good one, too.
Yep.
I know all those guys, so if I see you and them, I'll put you together again.
Sounds great.
I think you got a future.
Yeah, you got a career ahead of you, kid.
I like talking.
Wow.
I like talking. It's something I enjoy doing. I like sharing stories. I like finding things out. I do interviewing also. I do photography and interviewing. I started doing interviewing at a local drag strip, Great Lakes Dragway. And me and my grandpa would just do these interviews, interview racers at a local race. And it was really short. He would hold the phone. I would talk. You had to talk very loud. You were at a drag strip. And it kind of got me into interviewing, and I really enjoyed doing it. But I want to take it into more of a professional level one day. It'd be cool to do that. I like being interviewed, obviously. I like talking, so it's cool. It's definitely cool.
We're going to see you on TV someday.
I hope so.
I think so. YouTube in the near future. So
I hope so.
At minimum.
Well, thanks a lot. We really appreciate meeting you and seeing your car. We're really encouraged. Fantastic.
Wow.
Yeah, well, I'm speechless.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Well, thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Yeah.
Nice meeting you guys.
Yeah, you got it.
I appreciate
All right.
it.
Good luck.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, we're here at the 2023 Muscle Car and Corvette Nationals, and we're going to talk to Nathaniel here, and he has a pretty impressive 1976 Chevy Blazer that he drove around on the Power Tour, and I heard just a little bit about this, and we're going to have him tell us a little bit more about that. So tell us about your experience on the Power Tour.
Yeah, so this is my 1976 Blazer, like he said. This is basically a mobile welding rig that I got, and I brought it on Power Tour last year, basically as a service for people who broke down on the tour to be able to help them out and get them back on the road if they need help.
Did you just decide to do that on your own?
I talked with a couple of friends of mine. His name's Jacob Davis, who did a service truck the year before I did, but he didn't do a lot of welding and fabrication stuff. That was kind of not his expertise, so that was kind of mine. So I talked with him, and he was like, yeah, it'd be kind of cool if we both did it, and then, we can cover all of our bases, basically. But yeah, this was kind of it seemed like a good way to pay back to the community.
So what are just a couple of the repairs that you help people make?
We did a couple of headers, had a whole header flange break off a guy's car one day, had to weld that back on for him, had a guy break his drive shaft on like the third day, may or may not have been doing a burnout, I don't know, he didn't tell me, but had to fix that, basically cut it back, welded it around, made it so we continued the tour, and I think he drove home on that thing, is what I was told. So
where did you learn and how to do welding and fabrication?
Mostly just kind of by myself. I started welding on my own cars at home, my own garage, and kind of figured out I had sort of a knack for it, so I just started doing it more and more, and then I got a couple of apprenticeships at some fabrication shops that kind of taught me how to do it as well. But for the most part, it's kind of either been me either figuring it out on my own or just kind of asking people who I know more than me.
Okay,
So,
yeah, that's smart.
So
Yep.
do you have a straight job now, or do you go around and do mobile welding?
I do have a straight job, but this is kind of my other thing I do in the background, essentially. I'm starting my own welding application shop just out of a garage, basically on the back end of my dad's property, where I do customer cars and other stuff like that. So,
Wow, what's your age?
I'm 20.
20, okay.
Yep.
Now, how did you guys acquire this?
So this we actually won in a giveaway from Mopar's 5150. They were doing a veterans Blazer giveaway, and basically you had to send in a video explaining what you were going to use the truck for and why you should get it. And my dad sent in a video without me even really knowing. Like I was gone that weekend or whatever, I forget now, but he sent in a video explaining like that I would be using it for like a mobile welding rig, essentially for them. And they liked the submission so much that they'd already picked a winner, but they went out and bought another Blazer to give this one to me. So this was like the second winner that they gave out. Yeah. So, but yeah, it was very cool, very generous of them.
Wow, they were standing up. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's really nice to see younger guys getting in the hobby, especially a technician.
Yeah.
Welding, a skill. I mean, you'll always be able to do whatever you want to with that. Take it
People
wherever.
aren't getting into that.
Yeah.
You're always going to have a job.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's kind of, it's a totally different thing. Jeff here is a painter. I was a little bit more of a mechanic, but we didn't go on the Power Tour.
No, and we didn't help anybody fix their cars.
Right.
Yeah.
But all the same, we have made a living out of working on cars. So
Yeah.
for better, for worse, I'm sure you can do that if you want, or even beyond that.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll weld up some rocket parts one day or something. Who knows? So.
I don't know. That's kind of stressful, I think.
Right.
Your dad has to be awfully proud.
I think he is. I hope he is.
I'm sure he is.
Yeah.
I can see it in the picture.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, we're here at the 2023 Muscle Car and Corvette Nationals with Chris Kozlowski. We met him last year. He's a fantastic young man. He had a junior dragster. We learned last year was the youngest member ever for the Dodge Ram Charger racing team, which
and
is
the most recent.
yeah, very, very cool. This year he's got a car that you could drive on the street. Tell us about your car.
Well, it's a 1965 Plymouth Barracuda. Right now it has a slant 6. I'm building a 383 432-inch stroker motor for it. Gonna get a 4-speed trans soon. and I'm basically going for if Chrysler made a super stock car in '65 and used the Plymouth Barracuda for it.
Okay.
Was this a car you were looking for, or were you just satisfied with it?
It was my dream car. I've been looking for it since about 8 years old and got it when I was 10.
Perfect.
Wow, boy, that was a long wait. So a 4-speed transmission, huh?
Yeah.
A standard A33, or do you have plans for something else?
Standard, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, when I was 12, 14 years old, I sat in my garage and shifted my brother and dad's cars all the time. So you do a lot of practicing, just sitting still?
Yeah, I do.
That's awesome. I know exactly what that's like.
Tell me about your front clip.
Well, I just recently got it. It's all fiberglass from hood scoop to front valance. It costs $1,200, but it's a pretty good deal.
Okay.
So they obviously make this for early Barracudas.
Yeah. Yeah, Magnum Restorations in Cleveland, or not Magnum Restorations, Sled City Fiberglass in Cleveland, Ohio.
Okay. Did you buy it because you wanted the lightweight front end, or was this missing a front end?
I bought it because I wanted the lightweight front end.
Okay.
Okay.
Awesome. So what kind of power are you expecting out of this Stroke 383?
Hopefully about 600 on the motor and 750 on nitrous.
Wow. So you're going to drive that to high school then?
Yeah.
Sweet. Wow. I mean, that's left me almost speechless. So you want to talk about where you're doing a little bit of work right now?
I've been working at Dave Diddick Muscle Cars in Clinton Township. He's a very good guy. Lots of cleaning parts, cleaning the shop around. A little bit of motor work here and there, but pays pretty good, so.
Okay. Wow. Well, yeah, and that's a famous, if anybody doesn't know, he's famous fast and pure stock drag engine builder, Mopar guy all the way. Makes incredible horsepower with his Mopars. Probably the best going, I would say. Yeah.
Sounds like you're in the right place.
Awesome. So are you gonna, as soon as you turn 16, are you gonna start smoking weed and stuff and park this out back, or?
No,
That's good,
never.
man. Well, that's like a testament to my success. So I'm not all that smart. Certainly not a good public speaker, but I kept myself on the straight and narrow. So you can go pretty far with that. That's really awesome.
Love your car.
Thank you.
Love your car. Love talking to you again. It's
Yeah.
awesome you're here again.
Absolutely. Well, hey, thanks for letting us take a look at this beast of a machine here. And I don't know if you can handle all that horsepower. I guess we're going to find out.
Thank you, Chris.
All right, take it easy. Okay, we're out here with Gary Thomas, and we're going to take a look at his 70 Super Bee. And we're going to find out how a young guy under 25 years old could have such a cool car. You want to tell us about your Super Bee?
So it's a 1970 Dodge Super Bee. It's B5 blue. It's a 383 automatic on the column for now. Its numbers matching. We bought it off the original owner. It's original sheet metal. It had one repaint in the late 80s.
Okay.
How did you know of it?
My dad bought the only car that the guy ever sold, and then it was a Roadrunner. And we ran into his son at a swap meet, and he asked if we would like to buy the car.
So I guess it was, how do you afford such a car?
Well, I started with a 1970 Dart, and then sold that and got a Satellite, sold that and got a Coronet, and then bought this B. So, taking the money that we made from flipping the other cars, we only have $3,500 in this car as it sits.
Fantastic. And that is really a testament to young guys everywhere. You can literally work your way up into a legitimate,
Muscle car.
really cool muscle car with so did this just happen all by itself, or did you have to put some hard work into it?
We had to put some work into it.
Yeah.
So
Was it running, driving when you got it?
yeah, I was running and driving, but we put new mufflers on it because the old ones were rattling. We put the bench seat back in it because the guy had put Charger bucket seats in it. Just put a new carburetor on it, went over the fuel system and brakes.
Okay. How about all those other cars? Did they take a little bit of fixing up?
The Dart was still a work in progress when we sold it.
Okay.
The Satellite was kind of rough, but it ran and drive, and we just drove it ratty. And then the Coronet was a really nice car.
Okay.
That one kind of was hard to sell, but
But
Speed's cooler.
This can't be your driver. This has to be a toy put away, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just amazed that somebody has something this nice at your age. It's really impressive.
what is your age?
14.
Wow, that's amazing.
14?
Yeah.
14? And you have a 70 Super B?
Yep.
Holy cow. Holy cow.
Now, do you have plans to turn this into something else, like a Hemi Cuda convertible or something?
My dad has a lot of cool cars as well.
Okay.
He has a couple of Hemi cars and a couple of six-pack cars.
Okay, so it's in the family, runs in your blood.
Yep.
huh?
What's your plans for this?
We're gonna put a 4-speed in it. We bought a Passon Hemi Overdrive 4-speed we
Okay.
found on Marketplace for like $1,000 with everything, even like a brand new Lakewood bell housing and everything as well.
Okay. Wow, that's pretty amazing. So,
Yep.
What do you do for well, you're 14. Do you have a job?
I do some landscaping during the summer.
okay.
And then flipping cars.
Yeah, pretty much. I do a lot of flipping of Hot Wheels too.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yep.
Huh. Wow, interesting. So you learn which ones are collectible and you look for them and find them. And
Yep.
okay. Wow, that's fantastic. So again, a fantastic example of if you're willing to get up off of the couch and put down the video game controller,
You can get somewhere.
you can get somewhere in life. So this is really remarkable. I mean, this is really our story as well. I don't think either one of us had a Super B at 14.
At 14.
But that's really how it's done. I mean, there's no end to it. I'm really excited to meet kids that are doing this.
I've learned a lot about hustle too. That's why I have this car, because I put in work and effort. And
Yes, absolutely. Well, I mean, that is really encouraging. Absolutely phenomenal. When we walk up and see this car, it's like, well, how does a kid have this car?
Right, I already have a predetermined notion. You know, I'm not respectful because there's no way. And then we talk to you guys and we learn the story, and it's fantastic.
Yeah,
It's so good.
absolutely. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Really excited to have met you. So,
You too.
way to go.
Thank you.
All right, thanks a lot. That's a wrap on this one. Okay, tell us your first and last name,
Christoph Kozlowski.
and do you give us permission to use your video?
Yeah.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Thank you. All right. Hey, you want to give me your first and last name,
Gary Thomas.
and you give us permission to use this video?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. Can you give us your first and last name?
Anthony Stoll, also known as Tony Jenkins.
All right. So, will you give us permission to put your video on YouTube?
Yes.
All right. Okay, we're here. We're going to do an interview with Nathaniel here. You want to give us your first and last name? Will you give us permission to use this video? Okay.